Is dedicated to the homies that was down since day one. Welcome to Drop D.
Welcome to Quick Hits, a JFK assassination news and notes podcast.
Friday night. Yeah. You know what it is. Triple B. The long gun man posse. I'm going back to Dallas tonight. From Dilly Plaza to the files they hide. Triple B cracking open what they keep inside. Every angle, every alias, every thread we find. Turn the static of the past to a sharpened line. It's a special one, circle up, lean close. We connecting all the dots, they forgot to post. Guest co-host riding in, watch the sparks when they land. Doug Campbell from the Dallas action, that's the plan. We collaborate in crossfire conversations. Two shows linked, now it's live investigation. Every frame, every witness, every gap in the tape. If they bend up the story, we put it back in shape. It's the lone gun man, yeah on the mic. Digging deep into the truth every Friday night. From the shots to the cover, every angle in sight. Hit play, lean back, let us shine that light. It's the lone gun man, yeah you know that name. Triple B and Doug C in the same domain. When the Dallas action rides with the gunman flame. Whole case on trial in the hall of the game. So welcome to the session, it's the real-time check. Every echo from 63 running through your deck. The lone gun man pods where the story connects. Triple B done rep, ready to report what's next. Friday night.
This is dedicated to the homies that was down since day one. Welcome to Drop D.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Lone Gunman podcast. And I'd like you all to welcome in a very special guest making a very rare appearance live and in the flesh from Music City, USA, Nashville, Tennessee, the one, the only, Mr. Douglas Campbell. What's up, buddy?
What up, what up, what up? What's going on, dude? That was the coolest thing I've heard in a long time, brother, a long time. That was badass. That was absolutely badass.
Well, you can thank AI for that.
Yeah, I thank Rob Clark for that.
Dude, that's crazy.
Dude, that's exactly what that was. That was insane. You got to send me that.
I said, make me a Wu-Tang style hip hop podcast intro. Make sure you mention X, Y, Z, A, B, C, B, and that's what it spit out, dude. I was like, hell yeah.
Dude, I even the last guy, I was like, Raekwon. That's Raekwon. That sounds like Raekwon. That's pretty cool. And the opening guy was like, about a little bit through his verse, I was like, Myth? Is that Myth? Oh, this is amazing. This is absolutely amazing.
Pretty sick.
Big news in the Wu-Tang camp. They were nominated for entrance into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yep. And founding member Power just passed away.
Yes, he did. Yep. Yeah. The same week. Yeah. Crazy. But long time coming with the Wu there.
Yes.
Excuse me, listeners. Sorry about that. Here we are, the Lone Gunman Pod. Look at him, guys. Look at him. Look at his big, handsome mug there. Last in the long line of riders and lokes. See him dipping through the city. Dipping, sliding on spokes. Look at that beautiful hat. Wow. So badass. Now, let's see if I can do that, what you did, okay? All right, here we go. Oh, wait. I bumped my shit. Hang on.
Yes, the quick hits pick.
The quick hits pick, and we don't mean it like with a tissue. No, we don't.
That's right.
No, we don't. So here we are, man. The mashup, the TLG, TDA mashup. Look, I can't see that far, so you're gonna have to read me what the nice people say in the chat there.
Yeah,
in the chat. You have sometimes I lurk, guys. Sometimes I do lurk. I'll get home like usually I get home on a Friday night and Rob and Joe are already underway. So I listen a lot of times on Sunday morning. I listen to the podcast version. But I do lurk sometimes in the 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 thing there, and you got a feisty chat, man. These people are having a fantastic time. You know it. It's
They
like
are. They're
it's a
having their
very
own
exclusive club for sure, man. This is the chat is a social gathering of fans, and I think that's a cool thing over there. Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
But I can't read any of that. It's way too small on that screen way over there. I
Well, first,
apologize.
let me thank you for doing this because
Anytime, bro. Anytime. Now that
me,
do what?
it means the world to me
Oh man, anything for you.
because I know
Anything
we're
for you.
on a fire ass show for the people. And what we do here, Doug, when we start the show is we welcome in the people. And
All right.
hello to everybody. We got South to West up in the house, gets the gold medal. Roger Maynard, who normally does the all the Lone Gunman music, is the silver award winner.
That is the left-handed guitar player. It is, yes. I know. I have communicated with Roger. What's up, Roger? Hello. I'm digging my Blue Kramer, by the way. I got a Pacer, dude. The lefty version. Get one. Buy it tomorrow. You are going to love this guitar.
We got Tiny Dancer in here with the bronze medal. Jack Taylor in the house. Trey, Shreveport Trey up in the house. He says, I have questions. See this, Doug? I can put the comment right on the screen there.
Oh, there's Trey. Trey, look.
Yeah, you know Shreveport Trey. You met in Dallas.
I do, man. Let me he's a cool dude, man.
Trey
so
rocks.
We were it was during your show, live from Lancer, a couple years ago. And they had nothing but Pepsi products at the hotel. And I was bitching on your show about not being able to get a Coke Zero. And homie got in his car and went down the road and got me like a 6-pack of 20-ounce Coke Zeros. Cool dude. Absolutely cool dude. Yeah. Good to see you there, Trey.
Hell yeah. All right. We got James Smith up in the house, the man with the very normal name. Let's see. Yeah. Peter Williams. Pete Williams, the ghost of Dean Andrews. D-Dub, Derek Ward's in the house. What's up, D-Dub?
What is up? What's going on, Mr. Derek Ward? Derek Ward! Oh, yeah. Okay. I haven't seen his name in a while. Yeah. What up, dude?
Then we got the quintessential Queenslet carpet salesman from down under, Anthony Thripp. If you need any carpet, hit up Quest Carpets.
Yes, Anthony has been an emailer to Quick Hits several times, and we always give him a plug. Like, look, we try to plug his rugs.
Yes, we plug his rugs.
We give plugs to Anthony's rugs. Plug the rugs.
Next up, we got Toops. He's also from down under. Doug,
what up? Hey, McLeod's Daughters. That Australian show. Me and my wife got hooked on that show. Rob, you would love it. You would love it. You can stream it. It's about like 5 hot Australian chicks who run a cattle ranch.
Is there any nudity?
None that I remember.
I might pass then. The lovely Sally is in the house. She thought I was going to be Bart on the show tonight. Sorry, Sally. It's not Bart.
I sent Rob a couple of sound bites of Bart, but I don't know if he'll use them.
And no, not Malcolm Blunt too.
That's a hard guy to get.
He is.
Yeah, you gotta go through Alan Dale to get that guy.
Yeah. We got Mike, the library man, up in the house. What's up, Mike? Damn, Tony Holman. Big Tone up in the house. What's up, Tony? Thank God it's Friday. You damn right, son.
Man, I'm kind of thinking I want you to put together like a Wu-Tang intro for the Dallas action now. I think
we can do it.
Like that shit's sticking in my head, man. For sure. Because I mean, I played Daz Dillinger shit and Wu-Tang shit and other things, and it's not always family friendly. You never know if you can.
Yeah, and you don't get a copyright strike with the AI shit. So
that's true because it's AI.
That's right.
It doesn't know.
It don't know.
It don't know.
Morgan McKinley. Is it Buell Frazier? No.
Where?
You.
Did he do it? I don't think so.
No, they're guessing who was going to be guesting on the show tonight.
Oh. Hey, I posted that link on the Dallas Action Facebook page, right?
Yeah.
And great guy. You're probably familiar with his name, Scott Edwards. I met him in Dallas the last time I was at Lancer. And I just commented, I think I know who the mystery guest is going to be. And he commented in the thing, he said, Luna?
Yeah, I wish.
I answered, even worse.
James Orange Jack. Welcome, Doug. This will be a good one.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I've been on the show, but not in this capacity. I was on live once, but I was eating this. That again was from Lancer. I had this, I measured too, man, with a shoe. It was almost an entire Adidas tall, this sandwich of brisket when I was on your show from Lancer. That's why it was all audio, because I had barbecue sauce all over my face. It was great, though.
We have who dis? If I click the fucking button here. Assassination Archives, Andre. What's up, Dre?
And Research Center. That's Allendale.
Is it?
Yeah. At Assassination Archives and Research Center. Andre.
Archives, Andre. Oh, shit. I can hear Alan laughing all the way from an hour down.
Me too. But I happen to know he's probably wearing a Quick Hits hat right now while he's typing that. Yeah.
Paula Jane is up in the house. She says, "Love to Doug."
That is my nacho buddy, my nacho lady.
Yeah.
We split an awesome platter of nachos together.
You Licky DeLuga is in the house. Hi guys.
I licked a what?
You Licka DeLuga. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. That's just how I say it. You Licka DeLuga. Right?
Easy for you to say.
Right.
Yeah.
Paul Lanici up in the house. What's up, Paul? Welcome in.
I'm going to start calling Alan Andre on the phone now.
Hey, it's Assassination Archives Andre. You need to change his contact info in your phone so it pops up. Andre.
Hey, that's okay. Alan, he's pronounced like 3 people passed away on Quick Hits over the years that were in fact alive each and every time. So
Mike the Library Man just hit us with a beautiful super chat, $9.99. Wowzer. Thank you, Mike. Let me see if I can do this. Oh, I can, but you can't see it. Hold on. I'm such an idiot. Hold, please.
Don't look at me. I'm just a guest. I don't know how to do none of that stuff.
Hide that. Do this. Where the hell is it? Oh, it's popping up. There it is. Thank you. See, it pops up. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. God damn. I'll get to hang of this one day. Zendar is up in the house. Doug, Zendar. Yes. Look, Alan's laughing. He said, "Ha! I can hear him now." Oh, sorry, Alan.
That was, in fact, the finest Allendale impersonation I've ever heard in my life.
You like that? That was pretty good.
And here's my other one. When he's skeptical of one of your ideas, he does this to me a lot. Yes. That means you are not on the right track, Doug. You need to back up and think about what you're doing or what you're saying. Yeah, that means you do not have a handle on things. That's what that means. He's usually right, though. He's usually right. We love Alan. But you know what? Along with this gentleman to my left or to my right, depending on your current perspective, one of my dearest friends in the world, Alan Dale, 100%. And I am so glad he's here. Makes me feel a little calmer about being live on
It's
New
almost
television.
like he sensed that you might be here, Doug. Somehow, I don't know.
Well, yeah, he knows. He knew.
Will GPI deal. I'm not sure who everyone else expected as a guest, but this was a pleasant surprise. You damn
What?
right, Will.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Derek. I was talking to Derek earlier today. Derek Schwindeman. Hello, Rob. Good to see you. Good to see you as well, even though I can't see you. I'm glad you're here. Damn, we got a full house up in here, Douglas. But enough of the shenanigans and horse's assery. We are here for a reason, right?
To hang out. We do this every month. This is just pretty much what we do.
Yeah, this is the censored version of Quick Hits.
Ooh. Oh boy,
we can't.
That show can get a little crazy.
Yeah.
Rob has no filter on Quick Hits. He doesn't worry about the YouTube algorithm.
I've gotten much better though since having to do this live.
Yeah.
Not a lot more. I've gotten better with the brain to mouth filter. So we'll see. But we're going to be talking tonight, folks, about some possible plots against JFK and some possible foreknowledge of some plots, some possible threats issued, if you will, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But let me just set the table here for what Doug's going to talk about a little bit. He's been working on a research project with Bill Simpich, with some swinging dicks. Bill Simpich, Paul Blow, David Boylan. And he's going to get into a little bit about what they've been looking into. But before we get there, I just want to remind everybody of some of these various plots, if you will, threats against the president. Everybody knows about the Chicago plot. Thomas Arthur Valet, a 30-year-old former Marine, was arrested with an M1 Garand rifle and other weapons. There was also 4 suspect Cubans. I believe they only got 2 of them. 2 of them got away, I think, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, and they were released, pretty fast. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody in the chat, but I don't think that we have a nailed down record of exactly who those Cubans were.
I don't think so. Look, I got problems with the Chicago plot, or at least Abraham Bolden's version of it.
Explain.
Well, I'm just not 100% sure, and it's nothing personal against Abraham Bolden. It just seems awfully odd to me that there's no substantiation for his story. Like, no other Secret Service agent came out and backed him up. We don't have any other documentation about what happened there in Chicago to support Bolden's theory or story.
The teletype that came into Chicago from the informant named Lee. We don't actually have that?
No.
Really? I'm thinking it's like something we were talking about on the last Quick Hits, right? That the guest book, the Eastern Airlines Lounge guest book that what's his name, Clay Shaw allegedly signed, right?
Yeah.
And that some lady that worked there allegedly verified that he was in there and signed the guest book. But has anyone ever actually seen that thing? Right? So I guess I'm asking the same question about the teletype or the lead that came in from the informant Lee. Do we know that in fact actually we do have it?
I mean, the only person I know that substantiates it is Judith Baker, and that's not a good one to have on your side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like Fletcher Prouty saying he saw it.
Right.
Same thing.
So we have the Chicago plot.
Right.
And of course, we have the Miami plot, if you will, the Miltier plot.
Now, the Miltier thing, okay? I don't. So you said the Miami plot. Is it your estimation that he was talking about the Miami plot specifically,
well, the Miami
or not?
threat.
Could he have been talking about Dallas in your estimation?
I don't think so. I think it was more of a Miami threat than a plot. And he was very careful about what he said. He never implicated himself. And he never I don't think he gave up names of where he heard this from, but I think the threat was to go down in Miami, if I'm remembering correctly.
The Miltier threat.
Yes.
I don't remember it being that specific, just high-powered rifle from a building. They pick somebody up right after. But I could be wrong. But I always figured he could have been talking about Dallas, but this was at a time when there was a time, and this was something I had in my notes to ask you, like as a possible topic, having to do with General Walker. Like, I know where you and I were 10 years ago, where are we at now kind of thing. But as far as Miltier goes, like I always figured there was what was it? The the Independent Party or States' Rights Party, or what was it? One of these, it was a hard right thing. They had a convention. What was it? In Indianapolis? Just
the coalition of white folks, Southern white folks,
something like that. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like some third party, hard right party, and they had their little convention in Indianapolis. And I always that Miltier, Bannister, and Walker were all there, right, at this thing,
right?
Like just about a week and a half before Miltier was recorded by Billy Somerset, right, in Miami.
Fucking
and
ass.
I remember you and I talking about that years ago, like, man, that's a great place for Miltier to have learned that information, But at that time, I think I was more all in on Walker having a role in the assassination than maybe I am now. I'm not as, your mind changes over the years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Your thinking changes.
I don't think Walker had the financial means to pull this thing off, but damn, if his mindset wasn't in the right place, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure he hated the Kennedys, and I'm sure he knew, people with big pockets. He was meeting them in New Orleans, and I'm sure he knew H.L. Hunt.
Oh yeah. And we know he was meeting the gunboat cowboys, through the entire.
And he was a major general. I mean, the guy can plot shit. You know what I mean? Like, surely.
We know he was in contact with anti-Castro operators that were running out of South Florida and New Orleans and things like in that time period between April of 63, at least, probably before then, right? And leading up to the assassination. I mean, that was Felipe Vidal Santiago's cover story, for crying out loud, when he told the INS, when the FBI came around, or the INS rather, said, "Hey, were you in Dallas when you weren't supposed to be?" Well, yeah, I was talking to Walker the week before the assassination, about some money. So there's that, right?
Yeah. And the Tampa threat, right, on November 18th, 63.
Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of when you said Miami threat. I think I'm thinking about Tampa. That was at the big gathering, or am I getting them confused?
The threat was prior to his visit to Tampa on November 18th. The Secret Service received intelligence regarding a, quote, unidentified rifleman shooting from a window in a tall building with a high-powered rifle fitted with the scope. security response was due to the threat. The motorcade route was heavily secured with over 600 law enforcement officers, and the security precautions taken for their visit were much stricter than those later in Dallas. And the possible patsy for the Tampa plot was one Gilberto Policarpo Lopez, allegedly. He was alleged to be in the Fair Play for Cuba committee in the Tampa area, and then fled the country before the actual assassination went down. So that's an interesting story for sure. And then let's see, we have the one that got away.
The one that got away.
Yeah, Mr. Richard Paul Pavlik, who on December 11, 1960, in Palm Beach, Florida, Pavlik positioned himself to carry out the assassination by blowing up Kennedy and himself with dynamite, but delayed the attempt because Kennedy was with his wife and 2 young children. He was arrested before he was able to stage another attempt. This dude was born in 1887.
Oh my God!
Right?
His dad was like in the Civil War.
So goddamn. So in 1960, he would have been 73. Like, I guess he figured it's time to go. Had a long, good life.
He was gung ho, wasn't he? Wow.
Right? He served in the United States Army during World War I.
Yeah. Attaboy.
And then he worked as a postal worker in Boston before retiring and relocating to Belmont in the 50s. He had no family. He became known at local public meetings for his angry political rants, which included complaints that the American flag was not being displayed correctly. God damn it.
Do that again. Do that again. Yeah. I need a screenshot of that just for a meme.
He also criticized the government and hated Catholics, focusing much of his anger on the Kennedy family and their wealth. So after Kennedy defeated Nixon, Pavlik decided to kill him, right? He turned his property over to a local youth camp, loaded up his meager possessions in a 1950 Buick, and disappeared. Soon after that, he started sending bizarre postcards to the postmaster in Belmont, stating that the town would soon hear from him in a big way. Nothing that the postmarked dates and locations matched Kennedy's movements, the postmaster contacted the Secret Service. The Secret Service interviewed locals and learned of Pavlik's previous outburst and that he'd recently purchased a shitload of dynamite.
That's actually in the document?
No, I'm ad-libbing here.
Oh, wow. I was about the favorite document ever.
I gotta give it a little flavor, you know. Gotta spice it up a little bit. Sometimes these documents can be very dry.
Documents don't come with Silk City on them, bro.
No, they
do. They? No.
No, they don't. During his travels, Pavlik had visited the Kennedy compound in Hyannisport, Massachusetts. That's a mighty high-anus you got there, boy.
Now, see, Rob, time out.
Yes.
He is trying to clean up his act. Because if this were Quick Hits a year ago, he would have said my Annisport. That's what he would have said. See, that filter's working.
Touche.
Way to go, buddy. Way to clean it up over there.
He also surveyed the Kennedy's residence in Georgetown, D.C. So on December 11th, Kennedy was preparing to leave for Mass at St. Edward's Church in Palm Beach. Pavlik waited in his dynamite-laden car, hoping to detonate his 1950 Buick to cause a fatal explosion. However, he changed his mind after seeing Kennedy's wife, Jacqueline, and the couple's 2 small children. He later said, "I did not want to harm her or the children." While waiting for another opportunity over the next few days, Pavlik visited the church to learn its interior, but the Secret Service had informed local Palm Beach police to be on the lookout for his car. So 4 days later, on December 15th, Palm Beach police Officer Lester Free spotted Pavlik's vehicle crossing the Royal Poinciana Bridge. After his arrest, Pavlik said, Kennedy money bought the White House and the presidency. I had the crazy idea I wanted to stop Kennedy from being president. And on January 27th, 1961, Doug, Pavlik was committed to the Federal Medical Center in Springfield, Missouri.
Probably not a bad idea.
Yeah. Then was indicted for threatening his life 7 weeks later. According to Ted Sorensen, Kennedy was merely bemused when he found out about Pavlik's threat.
Hey, dude was probably already locked up when he found out, so hence the bemusement.
Well, he must have had a really good fucking lawyer, Doug, because
really
charges against Pavlik were dropped on December 2nd, 1963, 10 days after Kennedy's assassination. Judge Emmett Clay Choate, can't make this up, folks, ruled that Pavlik was mentally ill, unable to distinguish between right and wrong, and ordered that he remain in a psychiatric hospital, even though the charges have been dropped because Kennedy's dead, and he's not the one that killed him. The federal government also dropped the charges in August of 64, and Pavlik was eventually released from the New Hampshire State Mental Hospital on December 13th, 1966. He later died at the tender age of 88.
Oh, wow.
On November 11th, 1975, at the VA hospital in Manchester, New Hampshire. Wow.
Bless his heart. What a tragic story.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Like, I hadn't heard about this probably, I think I did a show about it at some point, maybe a couple years ago, but I hadn't heard about it before then, this Richard Pavlik dude.
Yeah.
But, it's crazy to think about what almost happened in his,
Yeah. Yeah. How history would have changed. How different it would have been. Yeah.
The whole butterfly effect thing, like what would happen if that happened? Who knows?
Yeah. If Jackie and the kids hadn't been with him.
Will we be saying Pavlik was set up and, was a patsy and,
we'd have the Lone Bomber podcast is what we'd have.
Yes. Oh, I like it.
Absolutely.
I love it. But Doug, let's get into what you're up to these days.
What am I up to? Oh,
all kinds of bad shit probably, but let's talk about the good shit.
The good stuff. Well, I have been engaged in, like you said earlier, a research project with Mr. Bill Simpich, the author of State Secret and the 12 Who Built the Oswald Legend, of course, and is legal representative of the Mary Farrell Foundation. David Boylan, who everybody knows is a lights out, amazing documents researcher and someone who knows the inner workings of the Central Intelligence Agency's hierarchy and networks and staff and command structure like nobody I've ever met in my life. And he co-authored what was the name? I'm so sorry, David. The Oswald book with Larry Hancock. I'm drawing a blank right now. The Oswald Puzzle. Yes, with Larry Hancock. And Paul Blow, who many will know, he writes for Kennedy's and King. He's one of the co-authors of the Chokeholds book that came out a few years ago. And we had sort of a mutual area of interest. A few years, I guess 2020, I did a presentation for Lancer, and it was about this, it was based on this sort of chronological order cache of Secret Service documents that I ran across in the declassified documents about what we're calling now the Pepe letters, right? And what the Pepe letters were letters that were sent from Cuba to the United States beginning on November 21st of 1962, right?
Okay.
two pro-Castro persons, ostensibly, allegedly, in the U.S. that outlining a plot to murder Kennedy, right? Like it's getting ready, and we'll get into some examples. But what struck me about them when I found this cache of Secret Service documents was the similarities between that, what happened in 62, and an episode that everybody's, most people, a lot of people that have studied the assassination are familiar with, which is the Pedro Charles letters, right? The similarities are amazing.
Yeah, those are very weird letters.
Yeah, very weird. And what we have in the Pepe letters is almost sort of the same occurrence just a year earlier, right?
Okay.
And the analogy that I've been using is a football analogy, right? Same playbook, different set of downs, right? You're trying to implicate Castro and pro-Castro forces in a plot to murder Kennedy. And the other similarities are crazy. But that's sort of what my presentation was about, was the similarities between the Pedro Charles letters episode that was sort of immediately after the assassination, and this earlier episode that I knew nothing about, these Pepe letters, is it what we're calling them. They were from or signed somebody named Pepe. But after I did the Lancer presentation, and I know you remember it, I think you even uploaded it on Pepe. Yeah. You even uploaded that on your, like a year later on your YouTube channel. People, guys, you guys can probably go to the From the Vault, right?
Yeah, somewhere, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, From the Vault. I think it's in there. It's called Letters from Cuba. It's about an hour long, but I really didn't have a lot of time to get too deep into it. I kind of stopped on, here's all the similarities between the two, and sort of ended it because literally the day before Kennedy is assassinated, the Secret Service closed the investigation. Nothing to see here, right? November 21st, 1963 is when they put a lid on it. They couldn't figure it out. But I got contacted by Bill Simpich, and he had actually done some work on it, on these Pepe letters years before. I don't know, 17 years before. And I was completely unaware of it, right? And he said to me then, he was like, well, I think you've got part 1, and I think I've got part 3. I think we need to do part 2 together. And we actually started on it. But then real life got in the way. I even took the time, me and Tiffany and the boys took a trip up to the mountains in East Tennessee one time, and I took all my crap with me, right? And sat down and wrote like 8 brilliant pages of this narrative. And then again, Rob, real life got in the way, and we kind of put it down. Well, then last year, Paul Blow, he did a presentation wrote a piece for Kennedy's and King, and did a presentation, I know, for Dealey Plaza UK about these letters, the Pepe letters. And then later last year, Bill Simpich contacted us, and he said, we've all done work on it, but it hasn't been fleshed out, right? We don't know, like, now we're sort of, and we're not trying to solve anything. Well, I guess we kind of are, but we don't have any expectations that we're going to actually prove who put these 2 propaganda campaigns out. But what we're doing is we're putting our heads together and our research together to get the story out, right? To get the narrative out and the chronology, and to see if we can identify where the 2 operations may have emanated, if they indeed emanate from the same place, from the same people sort of running the operation, if that makes any sense. Where I guess we're sort of, on the hunt. Let's see if we can figure out where this may have come from, if we can develop a good working hypothesis. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And just to refresh everybody, just briefly explain the context of the letters, if you will, because some people may not know what the hell we're talking about here.
Okay, we're talking about the Pedro Charles letters, and I have notes here. I'm old and I can't remember stuff, so listeners of the Dallas Action, yes, I use copious notes. I'm not good off the fly like Rob. I'm not used to this live thing, so when you see the old man squinting at a notebook like this, that's why I stay with audio only. Yeah, no. The Pedro Charles letters were actually put together, guys, into commission exhibit number 295. They were 4 letters postmarked Havana, Cuba, and they were mailed from Cuba. The first was signed by someone or signed with the name Pedro Charles, and it was to Lee Oswald, right? To friend Lee. Let me see. I've got some more notes over here. Apparently, Rob, the first letter was postmarked November 28th, 1963. It was signed by a Pedro Charles, dated November 10th, and it discussed the upcoming assassination.
So it was postmarked on the 28th, but it had a date that it was written on the 10th.
Right. Now, here's the letter. I'm going to read it to you. Lee Harvey Oswald. Now, this is one thing about the Charles letters that jumped out to me in similarity to the earlier Pepe letters, in that the way the letters are addressed, right? It's crazy. They're addressed jumbled, nonsensical addresses, no addresses that don't exist, right? In a way that makes it very apparent to me, very apparent to Bill, David, and Paul. And especially in the case of the Pedro Charles letters, they are designed to be intercepted. Right? Here's how it was addressed: Lee Harvey Oswald, mail office, Dallas, Texas, USA.
Man, I tell you what, Harry Holmes must have got a...
Mr. Bergen, do you have a massive erection?
When he saw that letter come through the Dallas Police Post Office.
or at least a sweaty upper lip, if nothing else, right? Rob told off on himself. Would you like to borrow my tissue, sir?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, here we go. Would you like to hear this Pedro Charles letter to Lee? And this showed up, right? The FBI got it. It in a way, it was designed to be intercepted, I think, because it was designed to tie Oswald to Castro.
And not be deliverable mail.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Right. It's going to raise red flags.
Yeah, especially with that name on the envelope. Yeah.
Especially. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dear friend Lee, I am writing to you once more since we saw each other in Miami. You took the Spanish books from the hotel, and I have practically none left. I want you to know that the man is thinking about visiting your city in the near future, so that you must close the deal so quickly as possible. As I told you previously in Miami, I recommend utmost caution and do not do anything crazy with the money I gave you. Hear that, Rob?
I did.
I do hope that you will not deceive me and that our dreams will come true. After this matter, I'm going to put in a good recommendation for you with the chief, who undoubtedly will be greatly interested in knowing you, since they need men like you. I told him that you believe me. However, I did make him believe me because I saw you with my own eyes. And he was quite astonished. He's talking about his marksman skills, Rob. Hang on, I got a little cloudy contact here. Y'all give me a moment. Okay, well, Lee, keep practicing your Spanish for when you come to Havana, because this is the land of freedom, of beautiful women, and of the rich Havana tobacco. Do not forget to do everything I told you upon receipt of this letter, and leave nothing behind that may provide a trail, etc. And whenever you receive my letters, destroy them as usual. After this matter, I will send you money, and we shall see each other here in Miami as usual. Sincerely, Pedro Charles. Now, I was telling you about, let me open, I turn this page over here. I was telling you.
Beckham liked to call somebody the chief as well.
Who was that?
Thomas Beckham.
Oh. Who was he calling him chief? Bannister? Ferry?
We don't know.
Oh, really?
Could have been Hoover. Could have been Bannister.
We think this was a Castro. But the first Pedro Charles letter was addressed to Lee Harvey Oswald, mail office, Dallas, Texas, right? Crazy. The second one was actually from somebody named Mario Molina, and it was to RFK. This is how it was addressed, right? Mr. Roberto Kennedy, Secretary of Justice, Department of Justice, Washington, D.C. Right? Deadly and undeliverable. It's gonna raise red flags.
Yeah.
Now the second and third Pedro Charles letters, let me see. They were basically calling out this Pedro Charles in Havana, as a pro-Castro agent in the U.S. who orchestrated the Kennedy assassination. So what you're looking at is propaganda, like the propaganda that came out of the DRE immediately after the assassination, which was the same stories that people like John Martino and Frank Sturgis, spread for years and years about Oswald in Miami, right? And that's what we're looking at, that kind of thing. Now, the Pepe letters were sort of the same kind of thing. A letter popped up with a completely nonsense address on November 21st of 1962, addressed to someone named Antonio Rodriguez. All right. I want to read you the Rodriguez letter. This is, again, the Secret Service gets it on November 21st of 62. Let me read you this letter.
Okay.
Comrade Rodriguez, in accordance with the planning and obstinate attitude of Kennedy to invade Cuba, carry out the attempt on his life in the terms conceived. I am not giving you more data because it is not necessary, since all that you have to know, and it is for its own security and effectiveness of the planning, I comply thus with superior orders. I have had no other ways of communicating this by any other safer means. For that reason, I have to do it by letter. In the United States, they are not in habit of opening the letters. For that reason, I trust everything will go well. Wink, wink, Rob. A good communist has to run these risks. We have to count on our own energies because USSR has not adopted a solid position with Cuba. These are high-level questions that a good communist card-carrying should not question. If he does it in that way, it will be for the good of all communists in that area of the world. Cuba is not all. Enough already has been done by Cuba. I will send you the next news if I am able by far safer method. Give me a prompt answer. I am embracing you. All right? Now, immediately, this raised red flags because it was delivered to a guy, a Venezuelan cat named Antonio Rodriguez Gil, and he worked for the Venezuelan delegation to the office or the Organization of American States, right? And it wigged him out. He read it and like, oh my God, what's going on here? Attempt on Kennedy's life. So he goes to his boss, who's a colonel named Trego, a Venezuelan guy. Well, they get it to the Secret Service. They get it to the authorities. And the authorities get a hold of it. And the Secret Service, they start their investigation and they zero in on a guy as their main suspect to have been the intended recipient of this, pro-Castro operation in the U.S. to murder Kennedy. That's a good point. That's a good point. That's kind of why we're looking around to see what we can come up with. I don't think anybody's standing up going that we're going to have an amazing book when this is over. Nothing like that. It's just four guys putting their heads together and digging through documents and seeing what we can come up with. Right. But, where was I? So they settle on a guy named Antonio Rodriguez Jones as their number one suspect to have been the intended recipient of this letter that outlines a pro-Castro plot, right?
That name reminds me of Sergio Arcacha Smith, Antonio Rodriguez Jones.
I think of Basketball Jones. Remember the old Cheech and Chong bit?
Well, it's like these guys come over here and then they want to Americanize their last names with some random shit, that sounds normal, but don't bother to change their first two names.
Yeah. Well, they do. They do hang on to those hyphens, brother. They do. Yeah, but they settled on him because a couple of informants told him that he was in with a bad crowd, right? And he was in with a bad crowd. And this is where it gets kind of weird, even before the second letter in the series are mailed. And it gets it's sort of a, okay, let me explain. They settled on Jones because they had an informant tell them that Antonio Rodriguez Jones was in with a bad crowd and that he was actually the lookout when a pro-Castro Cuban working for the Cuban UN delegation tried to defect. The guy got kidnapped, beat up, threatened with a pistol, interrogated, all this stuff, right? By a couple of henchmen, right? That basically they're here in the country under diplomatic cover. They work for the Cuban delegation to the UN, Carlos Lechuga, right? One of these guys' names was Quentin. Yeah, that guy. One of these guys' names was Quentin Pino Machado. And he was kind of known as the hatchet man for the Cuban UN delegation, for the Cuban consulate there in New York. He was like known as a strong arm guy. He was known as a sabotage expert, bombs and shit like that during the Batista regime. And he had a reputation for violence and carrying weapons. Well, apparently, according to this informant, this Antonio Rodriguez Jones guy was the lookout when they beat up this other cat, right? So the Secret Service says, okay, his name is Antonio Rodriguez. He's hooked in with some violent pro-Castro guys. Maybe it's him, right? So now here's the thing. His buddy, the one that they based their suspicion on, Quentin Pino Machado. After the assassination of Kennedy, the actual assassination, there was there were a bunch of rumors in the anti-Castro community that tied Machado to Lee Harvey Oswald. Oh, yeah. An FBI guy actually got a hold of the Secret Service. His name was Wassel, and told them that if Castro did it, the architect of the conspiracy was Quentin Pino Machado. No doubt. No doubt about it. And the story going through, like wildfire through the Cuban exile community, the anti-Castro exile community at the time, was that he allegedly was the guy that was going to get Oswald out of Mexico, or out of Texas to Mexico. What? Is that for me? What's going on?
No. I'm throwing comments up while you're talking.
Oh, I thought you were making all those faces at me. I thought I was doing good. You're like this. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Linda Zambanini.
Oh, hey, let me tell you, I met that wonderful lady right there, Linda, at Lancer a couple years ago, and had a great conversation with her, took some pictures with her. Yeah. Fantastic meeting her. She's so cool. Hello, Linda. Hope to see you again.
She said, wouldn't it be great if DNA analysis could be done on the closures and postage stamps that were licked on the Pepe letters? DNA analysis wasn't available till the 80s. Pepe must have left behind his family tree on those envelopes, Doug.
That is part of it. Miss Linda is trying to, you also got to find somebody that may have used the alias Pepe. That's part of it, and have to have it having been in Cuba at the right time, that kind of thing. So it's and like I say, we're having fun. We're digging. We're getting information down in a narrative form that a lot of people probably haven't read or heard. But that was not the first letter, Rob, or not the last letter, right?
Yeah.
There was another one that showed up on December 2nd, and it was delivered to P.O. Box 1624 in Miami, Florida, right? It was addressed to Bernardo Morales, Apartado, I guess that means apartment, 1624 Miami 1, right?
Okay.
So the post office people, they dutifully stuck it in P.O. Box 1624 in Miami, Florida, right? But there was no Bernardo Morales pro-Castro operative associated in any way with this Miami P.O. Box. Quite the opposite, in fact. P.O. Box 1624 was in 1962 rented by a prominent anti-Castro, anti-communist radio network called Radio Libertad, La Voz Anticomunista de America, a network headquartered in Venezuela and with heavy ties to the CIA, right? Intended to be intercepted.
Certainly sounds like it.
That's what I'm saying. But yeah, and it outlined basically some of the same stuff as the first one. And there was a third letter as well. But as I said, the Secret Service never really got any great leads as to where these letters emanated from, although they tried, and they closed the case, literally closed the case on November 21st, 1963. And that was kind of where my research left off.
I thought you said they were postmarked November 28th or the 1st.
No, that's the Pedro Charles letters. I'm talking about the Pepe letters now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Pepe letters started November 21st of 1962 is when they landed. And the Secret Service officially,
Okay.
They officially closed the case like nothing to see here. One day before Kennedy was actually killed. And then immediately after the assassination, the Pedro Charles letters pop up, also addressed in the exact same manner, intended to be intercepted, pointing to Castro being involved in the Kennedy assassination in the way that the Pepe letters the year before painted a plot to murder Kennedy sponsored by Castro.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Were these letters typed or handwritten?
Both.
Did the handwritten ones match each other? Did the Pepe handwriting match the Charles handwriting?
They determined there was one that was handwritten, I believe. I've seen photocopies of it, but they were in both instances. It was determined that they were typed by the same typewriter. Not the Pepe letters were typed with the same typewriter as the Charles letters, but the Pepe letters
were all typed from the
same typewriter. Charles letters, same typewriter.
Okay, I didn't know if they did handwriting analysis or if it was all typewritten stuff.
Yeah, typewritten, I believe. I've been reading a lot of documents lately. Holy cow.
Amen, brother.
Yeah, they are typewritten because I've been transcribing right from them for this piece I'm writing for the thing. As a matter of fact, yeah, I've actually got the Pedro Charles letter here. But yeah, they were determined to be typed from, in each instance, the same typewriter.
Gotcha.
So we're trying to determine if this is they have the same, what's the same little cues, right? And we're trying to determine if we can determine, I guess, if the operation came from the same mind or the same, same propaganda specialist, I guess.
Yeah.
And no, it wasn't Ed Lansdale. Good Lord.
Come on, man. Come on.
What?
It was from Fletcher Prouty.
Oh, yeah. But I'm writing a hell of a piece. I wish you guys could read it.
Well, hopefully
Pretty cool.
someday.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Chokeholds 2 gets published.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. There was that's Paul's book, Chokeholds.
Yeah, yeah.
What was that thing you did?
It's a double dick chokehold. Sorry. One on Pepe and one on Pedro, baby.
The filter didn't last long. It didn't last long at all. You can bet I'm going to get a screenshot of that later. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
That's going to be a meme favorite.
Well, what do you think we take a small break, Doug?
We could do that. How long? How long are the breaks on it? Wait a minute. You take breaks on TLG?
No, but I figured it'd be appropriate if we took one here since you're here and we normally do on Quick Hits.
We do that on Quick Hits. But the thing is, though, the ones on Quick Hits, they're 90 seconds long after editing.
Right.
Sometimes me and you, we be gone a half hour.
Right. I don't know how long this can be. I think it's a minute.
Well, that's not very long.
But I think I can loop it.
Oh, what is it?
It's just a screen that says we'll be right back.
Oh, you can't like just loop Jeff's Silk City promo just like that. That would be kind of cool. He'd get like if you played it like because it's like a minute 40 seconds, something like that.
I don't think I have it on this computer.
Oh, he'd get like the 5 bang for his money if we did just loop this commercial.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah.
But we are live, so we can't take too long of a break.
Yeah. Jeff, whichever the one is it shake and pour over? The sauce with the kiss label, like the rock and roll over. Yeah, my son was dousing some ribs in that 2 nights ago.
Some good shit.
Oh man. Dude, we got Silk City all over the house. I bought everybody a gift pack last year for Christmas.
Psychic Bigfoot.
There is some of that around the house too. Good
Lord.
Yeah, and what's the one it's like hot raspberry honey or something?
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, some jam variations too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's coming up on like April, man. That's usually when I make the Silk City order for the boys' birthdays. Hell yeah.
Sweet. Well, as soon as he grows our peppers, and he's going to make us Joe gave him a bunch of seeds, and he's going to grow some peppers and make us a exclusive lone gunman variant.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah, we're going to call it David Ferry's Hot Semen.
Well, that's not necessary.
I'm just kidding.
No.
And we'll be right back after a word from this.
Hey, look, before you do that, if you come back and I'm not here, guys, I'm outside vaping. I'm coming. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's all good. We'll be right back.
You know, now that Sean's got this shit hooked up, never mind.
And
We're back. I keep forgetting this isn't a quick hits.
No, we are hot and live, baby.
I can't go back and erase things like normal.
No.
You've taken the element of control from me, Big Bad Bob.
See, once you figure the studio out there, you can control all this shit too, if you figure it out.
Oh, dude, I wish I could show you what I got on my screen. I got you and Logic Pro doing things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I got the dual screens up as well.
I'm learning, though. Hey, you know what I learned? Momo can. We just didn't have time to do it. He's doing another session that way. Oh, by the way, look, I should probably tell you, well, we're live now. I guess I have to tell you live. But you know how when we do quick hits, a lot of times on Saturday mornings, there are things going on at the studio as well. And I have to tell you, hey, look, I might have to hit pause because there's da-da-da's recording over here, or they're doing this over here, and they call me about stuff, right?
Yeah, the light blew up in Studio B.
Yeah. They're filming a music video on the helipad on the roof. So I might, guys, if I have to duck out, I got my phone on silent, but, somebody trips and falls over something, they're going to call me. So it's just the way it works.
Well, hopefully nobody goes flying past your window there.
Let's see, where is it?
Thunk.
That corner of the building. I'm good.
Nice.
Well, nice.
Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. This is the Lone Gunman Podcast. This is part 2, or the second half, if you will. And Doug, I came across an interesting document, as I sometimes do.
Hey, you know what? I just realized that I don't want to interrupt, but I can't see, right? And I was reading, and I know you were like, look, communicating with your chat, you were like, so were there any comments or questions about what I was talking about that I missed because I was reading or just talking? I don't want to be rude to your chat.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So good.
Yeah, I got them all.
All right. Well, if you guys have any questions or, hey, tell us that you fellas are wasting your damn time. You're not going to figure that out. Go think about something else or whatever, just.
No, we're all good.
But I don't want to think we're wasting our time because I'm having a ball with the once a week research Zoom meetings with these 3 dudes. It's awesome stuff, man. Awesome stuff. Get you reinvigorated about this subject, Rob.
I know. When you start coming across and finding shit that nobody's ever found before, and you're like, it gets you psyched up, man. I know the feeling, and I don't get it often enough, but
unsolicited endorsement. Okay, what document did you come across? Now that I got that out of the way.
This is a weird one. All right, since we're talking about ominous Cubans, right? You know how there's an ominous Hernandez involved in things?
Carlos Hernandez comes to mind.
Celso Hernandez.
Yeah.
The Hernandez that Robert McCown said accompanied Lee to his front door for rifles.
Carlos Hernandez, though, David Boylan got on his trail and followed him through some operations he was involved in and where he was and who he was with. And I'm with David on this guy. He may have been a player.
He might have been.
Yeah.
And I came across this document from the 1970s, bro, about Hernandez. Okay.
And which one?
Fuck if I know. It's weird. So this is the hell is this? I think it's an FBI document. Pretty sure. Or it might be a Garrison document. I don't know. But 76 is way too late to be a Garrison document. So
could be a church committee document.
That's possible too. Now, this letter that I came across is addressed to Sarah, whoever that is. And it's from BG, whoever that is. Well, I can tell you BG is Bob G something. So Bob G. Big Bad Bob G. And it's regarding a missing airplane as reported to me by Jim Cromwell, former double A to Congressman Michael from Illinois. And it says the following is a possible scenario I have constructed from my notes, contact reports, memory, etc. You can compare it to the information you and others have and take it for what it's worth. Now, Jim Cromwell, from a contact report dated 12/15/75, saw a CBS television assassination show, and here's McCune or McCown or whatever, however you pronounce his name. That's
Robert McCowan. Yeah.
Castro's personal gun runner, right?
Now Oswald allegedly showed up with him. That's the guy David thinks is Carlos Hernandez, this dude that ran with Felix Rodriguez and Rip Robertson and all those cats. I mean, this guy was a badass commando. Yeah, that's the dude that David is convinced that was the guy going with Oswald to see McCowan.
Is this the same Carlos Hernandez from
Yes.
New Orleans that was hanging?
That David would have to tell us. It's too bad he's not in the chat. But I know he's got New Orleans connections.
Okay,
to people like Frank Barthez and who was the younger Rodriguez brother, the one that said he had tapes of Oswald?
Ernesto,
yeah. Well, his older brother, Emilio, was as decorated a CIA agent as a CIA agent could possibly be. I mean, this is one of those dudes they put his fucking bust on the wall at Langley.
Yeah.
Ernesto's big brother, Emilio. And Emilio had heavy ties to Carlos as well.
So Jim Cromwell sees a CBS assassination show, and here's McCown describe Oswald and a Latin named Hernandez who came to him to obtain 4 high-powered rifles with telescopic sights.
Yep.
The description and mention of Hernandez reminds Cromwell of an incident reported to Michael's office in 1963, 13 years ago now. Okay? The fact that he remembered the incident so readily seems to indicate that it was taken seriously by Michael's office back then and received the Double A's attention. Cromwell tells me of a report they received 3 days before the JFK assassination, in which Byerly Aviation out of Peoria, Illinois, reports a plane missing which had been rented by a fellow named Hernandez and never returned. Cromwell contacted the FBI about the missing plane, but feels the FBI lacked much interest in the case. In fact, he was startled by the nonchalant reply Michael's office received from the Justice Department regarding the missing plane. As far as Cromwell remembers, the FBI nor Byerly ever contacted Michael's office or any further regarding the missing plane as to whether it had been found or was still missing. Now remember, Michael is a Illinois congressman. Okay? And Jim Cromwell, the guy reporting this to the FBI, is an AA. I don't know if that's administrative assistant, maybe secretary to Congressman Michael of Illinois. The FBI didn't take what he had to say seriously. All right. Now it says, Jim Garrison says in one of his books that Guy Bannister of New Orleans, friend of David Ferry, had previously been in charge of the Chicago FBI office. Since Byerly Aviation was located in Peoria, the Chicago FBI office would have done the investigation in the case. It's entirely conceivable that the Chicago FBI investigation was directly or indirectly influenced by this fact, especially if the plane was actually taken by Hernandez, and Bannister and Hernandez are connected. Cromwell suggested contact Sharon Yard in Michael's office about the case, since she worked in the office in 63 and might remember. I contacted her on December 18th, 76 under the name of Jim Cromwell, and although she did recall the case, she couldn't offer any more than Cromwell. So they contacted this Sharon woman who worked in the office in 63, and she remembers when it happened, but she didn't have any more information. Eventually, I did request her to locate the file on the case, but I never heard from her again. I called back once to see what progress had been made in locating the file, but she did not seem to have done much. That was the last I heard from Congressman Michael's office. And then it goes on, another contact report of December 16th with Jim Byerly, and on the 17th, Walter Staker, were inconclusive in determining whether the plane had been rented by someone named Hernandez and never returned, or was returned late in 63. Now, this is the owner of the aviation company, right?
Yeah.
Byerly said he did not have records going back that far, and it's possible the plane could have been owned by someone else who was renting space on Byerly's field at the time, but that he could not recall the incident. But that certainly doesn't mean that it didn't occur, especially in light of Cromwell's immediate recollections. Cromwell suggested that Ralph Vinovich, Michael's present AA, might remember something, as he was in the office in 63 also. I never spoke with Vinovich about it, however. When I told Cromwell that Byerly could not recall the incident, he was surprised and was very sure that it did occur as he described it to me. When these facts are coupled with the following background information, this contact seems worthwhile pursuing to its fullest. And then it lists 4 things here. Number 1, all of this occurs in the Chicago area, where you have previous Bannister contacts and where numerous underworld figures related to the mafia and Jack Ruby operate. Number 2, the investigating agency in this case, the Chicago FBI office, was previously headed by a companion of David Ferry, thus a possible CIA connection. Number 3, Garrison in his book repeatedly refers to a Chicago phone number, which Ruby and Ferry had both called just prior to the assassination. Number 4, the mysterious fact that Cromwell and Sharon Yard recall the incident 13 years after it occurred, but the principals involved, Byerly and the FBI, don't seem to have done much after the initial contact with Michael's office. Knowing the significance of airplanes missing and waiting in the investigation, I thought I should bring this contact report to your attention for further consideration. Sincerely, Bob G. Bob G.
I would definitely look at Carlos Hernandez. David also has him at Redbird Airport trying to rent airplanes.
Really?
Yes. Prior to the assassination.
So now this document cuts to an interview, and I don't know who's asking questions and who's answering. It just has a Q and an A. Okay. It's a very anomalous thing, but
dude, these are our favorites.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it just jumps into something, a random page, and it says, what about this crash? Was this recorded? Answer. Yes, the government certainly knew about it because the Naval Air Base in Corpus Christi, they cleaned it all up. David said at the time there was some information about it, but Steve tells me and Mr. Lane tells me there is no evidence of it. Question, did the plane crash close to Corpus Christi?
What now? Hold up.
Yeah. Answer, off of it, on an island, on a sandy island off of Corpus Christi. Question, was it recorded in the Corpus Christi papers that day? Answer, Steve said he checked the Corpus Christi papers and it's not in there. Question, I said we had somebody try and check the Corpus Christi papers and couldn't find it. Did he say exactly what day it was that the plane took place? Same day. Question, November 22nd, 63? Answer, yes.
Holy shit, dude.
Now, did he say who the other man was in the plane with Carlos? Answer, a Caucasian. Question, what was Carlos? Answer, he was Spanish. He was a Cuban exile. Question, did he say he had ever known these 2 men before? Answer, yes. Question, did he say where? Answer, here in New Orleans. Question, what did he say? Well, he felt that Kennedy was selling out to the communists. That Kennedy was selling out to the communists, yeah. Question, you say he indicated that he knew this Carlos here in New Orleans. In what connection, how well, or where? Answer, he didn't say. At that time, the whole thing didn't really mean too much to me. You've got to remember, I was in the homosexual underground, Doug. And I was too busy trying
to... Kevin Bacon. It's damn Kevin Bacon.
And I was too busy, Mr. Garrison, trying to have fun and hustle a buck. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look. I hate to interrupt, but I need you to send me that. All right? Because I guarantee you, not all those guys are watching. And I would very much love to share that document in our. We've got a little study group Zoom meeting tomorrow. Okay. I would very much like to share that with David and Paul and Bill, because this is amazing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You've got to remember, I was in the homosexual underground, and I was too busy trying to have fun and hustle a buck.
Does it say homosexual or homosexual?
Homosexual.
Oh, it does?
Homosexual.
Okay.
Homosexual.
Wasn't spelled, it didn't have the little umlauts over the O there?
Still, I wasn't really too interested because I could really care less. And that's literally the only page out of this interview that's in this document. Like, it's just randomly stuck in there.
What in the hell, bro? That is intriguing and suggestive as hell. And I'm not talking about the homosexual part. I'm talking about the plane crash. Because when you said plane crash, I'm thinking Alexander Rourke, right? But then you said November 22nd, and I'm like, oh shit. You know, now Carlos Hernandez did live. He was alive after the assassination, I know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, just because the plane crashed don't mean that they died. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Now, so I'm thumbing down through the documents, because this is all, there's 34 pages in this file, right?
Yeah.
Some of them are repeated. They're repeated over and over and over. Same fucking document, right? So come on down. I see another piece of this interview, right? Question and answer. No names. But they're talking about David Ferry. And he says, he was always extremely frightened when he was sober. Extremely frightened. They're talking about Ferry. Question, did he ever tell you how he got to Houston or what he did after the plane didn't show up? Answer, he told me he drove.
Oh, shit. Okay, now I made the connection. You're talking about somebody, he's gone to Texas during that thunderstorm, the ice skating trip. He's gone to meet a plane that doesn't make it. Okay, this is cool as hell.
Yeah.
Carry on, sir.
He says he told me he drove. Question, and this is what happened after the plane didn't show up. Answer, I don't believe I told you that, Steve. I don't recall now how he told me he got back.
All right, Jaffe.
Maybe.
He did a lot of interviewing for Garrison. Man, you know what that makes me want to do is, you remember the thing we did the episode on the Dallas action with H.L. Arledge, that diary of the Garrison investigation by one of his investigators.
Yeah, Tom.
Tom. What's his name? But you can kind of go back through there and look for some Steve names. I mean, if you're trying to narrow it down, who that might be.
Yeah, I think he's still alive too.
Yeah,
actually,
that might be a file that might still be out there somewhere in whole form. You know.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry. Hate to interrupt. It's just like quick hits. I interrupt the hell out of him constantly with stupid questions.
Question, did he go to Houston with anyone? Answer, yeah, 3 of them. Question, what was their purpose? Answer, he claimed they went to, and I find this very hard to swallow, that anyone would go to Houston in November from New Orleans to ice skate, because I'm sure you must have an ice skating rink here. I think he made that up. An ice skating rink in Houston? It's hot in Houston in November. Question, who were the men who went with him? Answer, well, this one I mentioned to you, Terry Linfork.
All right, that's not familiar.
Now, this is weird because I've only ever heard that Ferry had two guys with him, Alvin Boboff and wasn't Morris Brownlee. Who was the other guy? Al Boboff and Melvin Coffey, maybe? Does that sound right?
I know the Boboff name.
I've never heard Terry Lindfork.
Was Coffee also a roommate of his at one time? Or was that Boboff?
I think they all were.
Huh?
I think they all were at some point.
Oh.
Night or two, you know what I'm saying?
You talking about entanglements and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah, we read that letter, didn't we, on the Dallas Action years ago? We did hey, all of Rob's listeners, go to the Dallas Action and find one called David Ferry, Known Creep. That's an episode Rob and I did. We read from a fat David Ferry file that had some
interesting things.
Dude, we were reading that stuff, and I wanted to use hand sanitizer just reading it, you know?
Yeah.
It was bad.
Not just a gay fan of black women as well, if I remember correctly. And lots of poppers.
He was a fan of lots of things, Mr. Ferry. Lots of things.
Lots of things flying around. Yes. Where was I? Terry Lindfork.
Terry Lindfork.
Now there's just a bunch of jibber jabber bullshit going on here. And then we get to what appears to be an ARRB document stuffed in here. And it's the originator is, it's just a review board document from the HSCA, I guess from an interview with the Reverend Raymond Brashears.
Oh, wow. He's been a repeat subject on the Lone Gunman podcast over the years, has he not?
He has.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, leader of the Lavender Panthers.
That'll be isolated for a soundbite for later use on Quick Hits. Yeah. That's precious.
He says, let me say this. David Ferry was a very kind person. He saved my life. I can't tell you what I mean by that, but he actually physically saved my life. He was a very kind person. He was a very generous person. And anything that he was involved with, he did it out of the sense of, not out of a sense of negativity. He did it out of a sense of pure goodness, Doug.
He just loved to love.
In the immortal words of Fred Litwin, David Ferry was a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Great guy. Great guy. Did we talk about, because he was at Lancer a couple years ago, last time I was there. Did we talk about me just photocopying, just printing out that letter, that Ferry thing we read, and go, check this out, bro?
Yeah. Now you tell me again when you get done reading if he was a good guy.
I think Sally has actually listened to that episode. Maybe. Sally Frankie Mac. What's bullshit? Who's was that me? Was I full of bullshit? Was that me? I'm sorry, Sally. Look, it says bullshit down there.
Oh, I don't know.
What'd I do?
Oh, I think that he was meaning he was a good guy. Bullshit.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No. He was not like the title of the episode says, known creep.
South to West says Doug had the best description of Ferry's mind. Quote, it was like he had 500 tabs open on an internet browser.
and some other motherfuckers got the mouse. Click, 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 click.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, back to the document. I'm guessing Brashears is talking to Garrison here, actually. Because Garrison says, well, patriotism, maybe? Brashears goes, it goes beyond that. And I can give you my word on that. As a humanitarian, I can give you my word on that he was a good person. And anything that he got involved in, he did because it was right in his heart. All I know is that he weighed the pros and the cons, and what he did, he felt he was doing for the good of the country. And he wasn't some radical person. He really wasn't. I found him to be a very rational person. He could sit and he would analyze things out, and lay it out for you. But he did tell me that he went to Galveston, Texas. Like, he just throws that out there. He says Houston was involved in it, but he went to Galveston to fly a plane. And that's all I know for absolutely sure. He was to fly a plane to Cape Town, South Africa, then later on to Victoria. He was going to fly a plane from Galveston to Cape Town and then to Victoria. Yeah, via a route through the Americas. So this mysterious plane that crashed in Corpus Christi is down south.
Yeah, it's like on the coast. Yeah, right. In the bay.
And so is Galveston, which is pretty close to Corpus Christi.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's literally a Corpus Christi bay. You can't get much more,
Yeah, and if you start putting, 1 + 2 + 3 + 4, who knows what the hell this is, right?
A lot of tiny little airports that'll take cash for fuel, between American dollars between there and there.
So they're pressing him. They said he said he was supposed to fly, but he never did. Garrison said, "I'm asking you now, what did David Ferry tell you was the reason he was going to go there and fly this plane?" And Brashear says, "No, you're making it sound like, and I don't like what you're saying." Garrison says, "No, I want you to say it." Brashear says, "Please, you're making it sound like he told me this in 63, and he told me this in 65. It's in the past tense." Right? So Garrison's dogging his ass, trying to get him to talk. And he said, "Okay, in 1965, when you had this conversation with David Ferry, was this 2 years after Kennedy was dead, right?" "Yeah." "All right, in 65, did Ferry tell you what this flying of the plane was all about? What did he plan to do, or what was going to do, or what he did?" Brashear said he was supposed to have flown the plane to Mexico, blah, blah, blah. I don't know all the stops. I can't remember, but it was to eventually end up. And then it gets end of tape 1, side A. So
dang it.
Starts off. "All right, now, Mr. Brashears, I've just turned the tape over. Now, you were telling us that David Ferry in 65 had related something to you about this plane trip that he was going to take or fly, and you said he told you that he was going to fly them. Now, what did the them relate to, or they relate to?" And he says he was supposed to have flown 3 people who were coming in from Dallas to, this is what he said, South Africa, which did not have an extradition treaty with the U.S. at the time.
I'll be damned.
Huh.
Makes a tiny bit of sense.
Yeah. And Brashear says, and then these 3 people were people who were involved in the assassination of JFK. Garrison says, "That's what David Ferry told you." And Brashear says, "That's right."
Hey, yo, put up Claude Williams' comment.
"I live in Galveston, and Corpus is like 30 miles.
Dude, what are you doing? You need to ride down there tomorrow. Start looking for us.
Yeah, see if you
can find it. Yeah, did a plane crash around there somewhere? Ask some locals, bro.
Yeah.
You've been enlisted. You're now part of the Lone Gunman Podcast investigatory. What, Rob?
Street team.
What he said. Hell yeah. Take Aunt Udine, let her take like some casserole or some shit and pass it around. Somebody will tell you something.
Yeah. Right? Tell her to wear a short skirt and get them knees out. Leighton Martins. That was the other guy he was with.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was going to say that.
Brashear said he and Leighton Martins, that little punk and the other punk. So I guess Brashears didn't like him.
Jealousy. That's pure jealousy right there.
Yeah, Boboff and Martins.
Yeah.
Martins. And then they go on talking about, Brashear says, I have reason to believe that it was based upon his affiliation. I have reason to believe it was Carlos Marcello. Did Ferry tell you who was paying for him transporting all these people? And he says, I have reason to believe it was Carlos Marcello. And he says, Marcello or Sergio Smith. And Garrison, he said, who is he? What was that other name? Sergio Smith. Would you say it again slowly? Smith was his name. And Sergio. Sergio? Garrison said. Bashir says, Sir G-O, motherfucker.
Yeah, did you hear me that time, motherfucker?
Good Lord.
Garrison must have been hard of hearing.
Now Garrison says, now who is this Carlos Marcello you're talking about? As if Garrison has no clue who Carlos Marcello is.
So what's he's just playing dumb with the guy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Bashir says, all I know is he's somebody with the syndicate and he was involved in a lot of heroin trafficking in New Orleans and all over, really. So they talk about him working for Marcello and flying.
Now, Marcello said he was just a simple tomato salesman, Rob.
Yeah. But
I don't believe it.
Yeah, man. I mean, this document just goes on and on. I'm trying to think if there's anything else in here about Carlos and Hernandez. Let's see. I think that's about it. Because we're getting back to more duplicate documents of the same thing. So
don't you love that?
Yeah, gotta love it. Ooh, here's something different. This is from June 24th, 1976.
All right.
To the RSS or the DSS from SWL REJFK. A lot of abbreviations in this, and it's very faded. It's hard to tell. But it says, Bob Goldberg called this morning with a suggestion that we go back to the tip from Congressman Michael's former AA, Jim Cromwell, who said a plane had disappeared from an Illinois airfield 3 days before the assassination. The plane was rented by a man named Hernandez and never returned. I agree with Bob that it might be good to go back to Michael's office to see if they can dig anything out. And this is a year later from when they were originally talking about it.
Yeah.
And then there's a note on here that says NB : I have similar lead RE Redbird field in Dallas. Memo to come. TY 624.
Oh shit. Yeah. I need you to send me that. I would love to share that with David. Because he's been sort of hot on Carlos Hernandez's trail through Redbird, through McAllen for a few years. I think we may have talked about that on the show several years ago.
Yeah, now this is weird.
All right.
Do you know what RSS is? Does anybody? Tiny Dancer?
RSS?
RSS.
Can you share the document? Let me look at, is it an abbreviation? What do you got?
Well, they're calling him, this is who the thing is addressed to. DM, TG, DN, RSS, return to DM for file. And then it says RSS staffer and the initials BG.
I'd have to look at it. I mean, I don't know if it's FBI, what it is.
Let me keep going and see if there's anything else that might lead us to what the hell this is. I don't know. I'm sure Simpich knows, but weird.
David's pretty good at deciphering those abbreviations because, like RSS, COS, and sometimes when he explains them to me, I'm like, oh, well, that was obvious if I, thought about it for 2 minutes.
Yeah. But I'll send you this file and feel free to share it with them guys and see what they think about it.
Tiny wants you to say it again.
RSS. Hang on. Let me see if I can share this. Hold tight. Let me see if I can snip it. Because I'm in pro scenes and I don't want to screw shit up. But hopefully I can save this and then share it.
Hang on, Miss Dancer. He is working on it for us so we can get a gander of it, you and I.
It's coming right up.
You and I.
Let's see here. Add a new layer, a media file, upload new. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is.
Tiny said, por favor. ¿Cómo está, Consuela?
De nada. Croissant. All right, can you see that, Doug?
It's French, Goober. Let me see.
Le croissant.
That is definitely, well, you know, it looks like it could be CIA, but I don't know. I would love to, definitely get that to David and Bill tomorrow, and I could probably have you an answer for your show next week.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of abbreviations going on there, you know? Shit. How do I get...
Muy bueno.
Aye.
All is well.
Aye, Poppy. There we go.
Madam.
All right, Doug. You wanted
It's
to...
Rob.
What?
I said, it's Rob.
Yeah, we're back.
We're back.
All right, Doug. You want to get into some of the other documents you sent me earlier?
Sure. I thought you had some emails? I got to tell you, man, so some of those documents, I was like, hey, we'll look through this file. But I got to tell you, I kind of hit a dead end. There's just not much there, I got to tell you.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
It's up to you. We can skip it and hit emails.
Yeah, really. It was like, you know.
A backup for what, you know, if we needed some extra fluff, right?
It would have been a backup for a backup segment on Quick Hits, maybe. I got to tell you, I'm sorry I let you down. But I hope I redeem myself with my little Pepe thing.
Yes. Absolutely.
But nah, you know, we're not like I say, we're not going to solve the case or anything. We're just seeing if we can identify just where those two operations could have emanated, right? And also, here's another thing, another facet to it, right? In the interest of paring down your conspiracy theory, I guess, you know, because these guys are kind of in the same school we are. You know, the monolithic, gigantic, huge conspiracy is probably not what happened.
Right.
And trying to identify if there are any people that we think were genuinely probably involved in the assassination, right? Who could have been in a position to affect a propaganda operation like the Pepe letters or the Pedro Charles letters. You know, people who are like the spoke of the wheel, right? Like, okay, there are other people that you and I are convinced, or personally ourselves are convinced were involved in the assassination, right? John Martino would be one of them, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Exactly. Well, who would be in a position to have access, say, to the information regarding black information propaganda operations, right? Paul Blow, he calls these like a black letter operation, and that's a good term for it. But someone in a position to affect both, you know, the assassination itself and that operation, and something like the Pedro Charles letters or the Pepe letters, you know, who's in a position to do that. Like you and I talk a lot about the Mexico City operation, right? The Oswald in Mexico City thing, right? Regimental support staff. That makes perfect sense. And that would be, yeah, actually. Damn right. Good work, Miss Dancer.
Yes.
Bien trabajo, madam. Absolutely. But yeah, you know, like you and I talk, like with the assassination itself, not very many people, a dozen people in the world are going to know that those microphones are in the Cuban consulate and the Soviet consulate in Mexico City. So that really cuts down the number of people who could have the idea to send an Oswald impersonator through Mexico City to get him on tape, right? It pares it down, right? So one of the things we're trying to do is, okay, the stay behind networks in Cuba that possibly would have been the source of the mailed letters. right? Tying Pedro Charles to Oswald, tying Antonio Rodriguez to a pro-Castro plot to murder Kennedy and to Pino Machado, right? Okay, well, who was in a position, say, within the agency, right? Or within the anti-Castro milieu, as it were?
Le croissant.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Momo's quicker on the button, bro. I gotta give him that. But
Afford to hire.
Seeing if we can paint a picture, draw some lines to from the Dallas plot to, say, the Mexico City plot to the black propaganda operations, specifically these two that emanated around the assassination and before it. And, I don't know if we're going to come up with a, golden key type answer or nothing, but
I'll give you a suspect to look into.
Who's that?
Like one. Man, our boxes are all fucked up. Hold on a second. How'd this get all fucking...
Bro, for don't look at me. This is the first time we're doing a show, and it's not anchored on this end. I didn't fuck nothing up this time.
No.
This time.
I'm sure I did.
This time.
I just don't know how I did.
You guys have no idea how many Saturday mornings doing quick hits that Momo and I have had to call the lead engineer here at the studio at home so he could remote in to fix something Momo fucked up. Before we could even start, Rob's over there on the other end, like twiddling his thumbs.
But just digging into some things and seeing certain documents. Was it Carlos Brinier's uncle was a stay behind in the DRE?
No, it wouldn't surprise me.
I think it was Jorge Brinier. So I'm just saying, maybe after the assassination, he talked to his brother, and Carlos said, "Hey, why don't we?"
For the Pedro Charles letters, that's pretty good thinking. I mean, if he's still a stay behind, part of one of these stay behind networks of the CIA in Cuba, I mean.
Just throwing it out there. And yeah, for sure. But, and when we say, like I used the football analogy, same playbook, different set of downs, between, say, the Pepe letters and the Pedro Charles letters, I don't believe so. But I can't say for sure. And interestingly enough, no war with Iran, I believe Paul Blow has found documents with cryptonyms in them with links between Pino Machado and June Cobb. But unfortunately, we've shared so much information between the four of us in the past couple months, and I've read so much information, I'm forgetting the details right now. And I do apologize, but I guarantee you that's going to be part of the whole thing. So, Yeah, and we can update you a little bit on the next quick hits, bring them up to speed, well, more.
Hell yeah. And now that we know this is so easy to do, I'll just come back on here. Fuck. Look, wait, y'all see how I just invited myself like my in-laws do on my damn vacation every year. Just invite yourself.
I've got an empty seat over there, for the foreseeable future. So
I'm not gonna have to sit under that light fixture, am I?
No. We'll tape some cardboard up over it.
Yeah, we don't want to. I almost gave away some inside baseball there. I'll shut the fuck up now.
Oh Lord! All right, Doug, you ready for some emails?
Hell yeah, I'm ready for email. Like quick hits. We got these are quick hits emails, or are these the Lone Gunman podcast emails? Because look,
these are the Lone Gunman podcast emails.
Oh, good, because I'm like, we're scheduled in 2 weeks, man. Don't like.
I'm not going to blow the load here. Yeah.
Don't empty your whole sack right now.
No. I just figured it'd be cool to do some Lone Gunman emails because I never read them on the show. I get them all the time, but I just never read them.
Oh, that's awesome. It's too bad we don't have our quick hits email theme.
I try to answer most of them, but it's a lot. It's a lot for your
dude.
boy.
For real. For real. I had to shut mine down years ago. It was just ding, 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 ding all the damn time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Oh yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman.
Emails.
That's right. Thank you, Doug.
Hell yeah. Brought to you by Rob Clark. Hell yeah.
Oh boy, here we
This
go.
is awesome. Emails.
Hold on.
Maybe we should call them B mails.
Yeah, triple B mails.
Hell yeah. Triple B mails.
Let me wet my whistle before we get into this. Okay. This comes from Dave Boone. It's titled Praise and a Couple of Corrections, because you know how much I love being corrected, Doug.
I love you. You fucked up.
Hey, Rob, long-time listener, first-time emailer. Love all your podcasts, informative and entertaining for sure. Thank you. I very much appreciate your current dives into the lore and your attempts to set the record straight. You're making important points and doing valuable work. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate that. But in that spirit, I'm hoping to help correct a few things. In A Tale of Two Morticians, just pointing out that Jane Mansfield was not decapitated. It's an unfortunate story that has become part of the lore of her death.
Well, that's news to me. I thought that was the case, but hey, you know.
An early reporter looked at the scene and or photographs and noticed her wig on the dashboard or tangled in the steering wheel. That erroneous report was rinsed and repeated throughout the years, to quote your observation on Quick Hits. Sadly, her daughter, Mariska Hargitay, who was asleep in the back of the car, by the way, she could get one, Doug.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Twice if she asked nice.
Yeah. Has had to live with that unfortunate and ugly rumor all her life. Just wanted you to be aware, because I can tell you don't want to be a party to spreading incorrect info. Oh, heaven forbid I spread incorrect info, Doug.
Oh, I know, man. We can't do that.
No. I mean, I feel like I do it all the time. But now, you know, there's always a disclaimer. Maybe
Yeah, I don't think I spread incorrect info. I just wish I didn't forget shit so much, you know, when we're doing shows. That's the bad part. I can't remember anything anymore. That's why I got these notebooks. That's what those are for.
That's why I do spread misinformation sometimes, because I don't write shit down. I just go off the top of my head, and trust me, it is a mess in there, folks. A mess. 35 years of fucked up quotes and paragraphs and books and stories and forums and everything else and podcasts. Good Lord.
Dude, I wrote 16 pages about some letters this week, and a while ago I couldn't even remember if they were all fucking typed. I've been studying that all week. What the hell?
Hey, it happens.
I know. That's the thing about this live thing, right? One time, you and I did a show together. Robbie Robertson's very fine podcast, Out of the Blank.
Yep.
Right. And I don't think we did it live. I think he taped it.
He did
He
tape.
pre-recorded it, right? But he was going to upload it that very same day. It was hours later. I was just going over it in my head, and I realized that I swapped the CIA cryptonyms for the United States and Cuba, right?
Yeah.
I got them backwards, PB Rumen and PB Prime. And that fucked with me all day, man. And I actually sent that dude send him an email, like, could you beep that out, please? Because I'm a dumbass.
Because you edit those, so.
And he's like, no, nobody's gonna know, man. Nobody's gonna know. I'm like, but I will, right?
I know.
That's why I write everything down. Damn it.
Dude, I used to beat myself up so much for saying wrong shit on here. Now I just don't care anymore. I just don't even highlight it anymore. I just don't even mention it. I just keep it going.
I remember one time in the early days, right? Before we could edit, I did like a 40-minute
pause.
Before we could pause. Yeah, before we could pause. Yeah. Fuck edited. We couldn't even pause it. He's right, though. He's right. We used to do this when we started doing this. You better not hit fucking stop.
No, if you fucked up 20 minutes into a 30-minute podcast, trash
That's
it,
it.
start over. Fuck.
Yep. Yep. That's all it took. You lose your spot one time. I got the Oswald in Mexico City visit to the consulate wrong by 2 days, right? Like the date.
Yeah.
And I was like, I had the thing, right, the upload button, and I'm like, fuck. It was like 42 minutes long. Finally, I said, I can't do that. I got to redo it. And I redid that whole damn thing. Yeah.
Oh, those were the days, man.
Yeah. And this was back when, like, you know, our kids were little and they'd bang on the door and shit 13 minutes, 14 minutes into it. You'd be like, fuck, I got to start over now. Damn.
I'd be sitting in my car at work, birds chirping in the background.
That's right. You used to record them in the car at work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever song was playing on the car radio would be my intro song for the
Hell yeah. Uploaded at lunchtime, recorded. You know, I was thinking about Buell Frazier today. That motherfucker, Rob would upload 18 minutes. Bam. Yeah. I was quoting Rob there. I'm not calling that man that name. Rob, you can't even edit that out, can you?
No.
Damn, I keep forgetting I'm not on Quick Hits.
It's all right. Nobody watches it.
He probably does, know my luck. I'm sorry, sir.
And let me just tell everybody, thank you out there for, I think last week's show was the quickest ever to reach the most views in a week. Over 1,200 views on the Matt Douthit episode in less than
damn.
So that's pretty damn good.
That's pretty awesome, dude.
Maybe
you gotta have that guy back next week.
Right. Where were we here? Oh, yes.
Why Pro Chargers are better than turbos?
More corrections.
Oh, okay.
Going back to episode 375, which, Doug, I couldn't tell you what the hell 375 was, and we're only on 384. But
I'm hip.
Maybe this will clear it up. A lot was made of Johnny Brewer's testimony about the lobby or foyer or alcove. There was confusion about was Oswald in the store or not, and I think looking at different versions of his accounts was somehow misinterpreted as him changing his story or lying. And he sends a photo of Hardy's shoe store, which I'm looking at. I see it. The door is set back from the sidewalk by at least 10 to 12 feet, creating an alcove or an outside lobby, if you will. On either side are glass display windows. It's almost like a hallway and an ideal place to duck in if someone didn't want to be noticed standing directly on the sidewalk in front of the building. It's a small detail you may not have caught in photos or recreations of the Oswald and Brewer encounter. I only bring it up to help clear up the confusion because the longer that discussion went on, the more it seemed to spiral away from the facts. Hey, easy now. Just because the other witnesses inside the store didn't see Oswald enter the door doesn't mean Brewer was lying on this point. Not criticizing, just offering info.
Mm-hmm.
I'll skip that part.
No, it must be bad.
Looking forward to more fantastic info. Dave. Sent from my iPad without spell checking, proofreading, or other common courtesies.
Well, no.
Thank you, Dave, for your kind words at the beginning of your email. And as for your corrections, go fuck yourself, Dave.
He's okay with not being your favorite as long as you know he's not the one to play with.
There's more than one side to a story. You know what I'm saying? And there's more than, I'm just taking what the document said at face value. And he's looking more into what Brewer's testimony means. And it said what it said, and that's all we went by.
You reported the information. He's engaged in analysis.
Right.
Yeah. Two different things there.
Does it matter if Oswald was in the fucking store or if he was right outside the front door? It really doesn't matter. Really. But whatever.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? So thanks, Dave, and keep listening to the show. We love you. I was joking when I said "go fuck yourself." It's a term of endearment from me. All right, next email up. Let's see here. We got one from Yorinchak at. Well, I'm not going to give his whole email address out there. It's James. James says, "Hi guys, guys. Thank you for the many excellent podcasts. As I was searching for evidence that Marina Oswald did not know how to use the camera that took the backyard photos, I stumbled across, quote, On the Trail of Delusion, Fred Litwin's podcast, episode 20, the Marina Oswald tapes.
I have never heard it. I cannot comment on that podcast. Wait a minute. Back up.
Yeah.
He has a podcast?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I'm in the opening to his fucking podcast. My audio.
Excuse me?
From the first time I had him on my show, he stripped the audio of me praising him and put it in the intro to his podcast.
That is pretty fucking funny.
It is pretty fucking funny.
Well played, Mr. Litwin.
Yeah. Fred Litwin interviews Steve Rowe, who I've had on the show as well, and Dennis Morissette, movie makers, and a Russian-born documentary filmmaker named Mariana Yarovskaya.
Never heard of her.
Who translated for a film about these tapes. Strangely, in the notes about the podcast, the film's name's not mentioned. Later in the podcast, Paul Gregory.
Not familiar.
He's the shit. His dad's name.
Is that the guy?
Who was a Russian?
His dad knew Oswald.
He was a Russian interpreter for Marina.
Oh, not the guy that met him through
Peter Gregory, maybe.
Met him through Des Moines Shield, or was at the part? What was that party they call it? It's named after a tree.
Magnolia Party.
Yeah, the Magnolia Party. Yeah, were they there? Maybe or
maybe.
I don't know.
He says later, Paul Gregory joins the discussion. Several excerpts of phone calls of Marina are played. I don't speak Russian, but one thing I noticed about the excerpts was when Marina said anything indicating in the slightest way she thought Lee was guilty, that the entire spoken text was translated. Every now and then, for instance, when Marina's girlfriend Katya Ford asked why Lee came home on a Thursday, there is no translation of what Marina said. In several other places, Marina spoke for an entire minute, but the translation was, he did. In other words, I don't trust the translations of Mrs. Yarovskaya. It appears to me that what was translated in the excerpts of the wiretaps was dependent on proving Oswald's guilt. Positive was that they concluded that what Marina said on these tap phone calls showed she wanted to believe her husband was innocent. And then he asked, are you guys aware of these tapes of a short time in 1964 when the FBI admitted we're tapping Marina's phone? We were, and we actually went over them in a members only show. James, obviously you're not a member or you missed that show. Are you aware of an English transcript of the calls on the tapes? No, I don't think anybody has legitimately translated every word of the tapes. Although that sounds something that sounds like something that Jefferson Morley would try to do, but hasn't, and probably get it wrong. But perhaps the contents of these wiretapped calls, I think they only cover a few weeks. 64 contains some interesting comments from Marina, which will make a good podcast. Again, we did it. You missed it. Again, many thanks for the many fantastically researched podcasts you guys have produced. James. Thank you, James. And yeah, become a member. Go back and find it.
Yeah, and then you can watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
We provided excellent commentary, sir. I think. It's been a while.
Yeah, I can't remember that stuff either. What
damn.
I've done in the past.
All right,
What I've
next,
done in the past.
right?
Yeah.
We got an email from Bill Reed. It says, Rob, I just listened to your recent episode with Matt on the J.D. Tippit murder. I have an answer for you on the question about the pronunciation of niches, as in 601 Niches Street. The Niches River, and I'm probably saying it wrong. I am. Fuck it. Located in East Texas and flowing through Beaumont is pronounced Naches or Naches. The name is pronounced with the long A sound, rhyming with neighbors. So neighbors, Naches. Followed by a shez or shiz sound, Naches. Naches. Having grown up in Beaumont, I'm familiar with the name. Hope this helps. Also, Matt mentioned that he gave Tippit tours. I'd be very interested in doing that. Would you send my email to Matt about wanting more info? Thanks. Oh, and please tell Doug Campbell, hi. Hi, Doug. And I guess Momo too. Well, that was nice.
That was nice. Dude, I'll tell Momo hello for you. Momo's over there. I'm in Studio E. He's in Studio A doing engineering a vocal session. They're doing like background vocals, like harmonies.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And it's some kind of R&B thing. It's not a country thing.
Yeah, the reason that he was asking that, because I was asking Matt, because you remember that mysterious package addressed to Lee Oswald that they found in the Nixie bin after the assassination, because it was undeliverable mail.
Yeah.
It had the wrong address on it. It had 601 West Nassious Street. Nassious. Not Nassau, Nassious.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, and I saw a street like close to like Zhang's and Beckley where his rooming house was, and also near Elsbeth. But there was one spelled Neches. So I was thinking, okay, well, Oswald couldn't spell worth a shit. So maybe he had heard Naches, like this guy said it was how they say it, Naches. And maybe that's how Oswald spelled
it phonetically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there is no.
Yeah, he couldn't spell worth a damn.
There is no West Naches Street in Dallas. So I looked up on Google Maps 601 West Naches Street or Naches Street. And you could see on the side of a house in the 600 block, and it was a house that was right on the corner. And you know how back in the day they used to divide the houses up into apartments, and rent them out or whatever. Well, you could see there was still a porch on the side of this house where a door used to be, but they walled it in. And I guess it became a single family house instead of being busted up into like probably 2 or 3 apartments. But it was a perfect little shitty apartment, for Oswald to be staying in. Because it was addressed to Lee Oswald, 601 West Naches Street, Dallas, Texas. But the way he spelled it, they didn't deliver it.
Wound up in the dead letter box, drawing attention again.
Yeah. And the only thing that was in it was a paper bag.
Yeah, that's interesting because of what he allegedly possibly had some curtain rods in, right?
Allegedly.
And there was a theory, and I believe I heard you talking about it, how that like it might have been some sort of marked card or something, like him mailing something to himself.
It was open on one end.
Yeah.
Found it. So who knows what might have been in it?
Who knows?
Who knows? But yeah, thank you, Bill, for that email.
All right, I'm getting hungry, Rob. I'm just letting you know.
We're almost done. We got one from Preston Kennedy. Thought you might find this interesting or at least humorous. Found it on a Facebook page called Bad Album Cover Collective. Best wishes and hopes for a speedy return.
Please let it be Beverly Oliver and the Dummy. Please let it be Beverly Oliver and the Dummy, because that's where I discovered it.
It's Beverly Oliver.
Oh, but there's no ventriloquist dummy?
It ain't with the dummy. Let me pull this thing up real quick.
Have you ever featured that on the Lone Gunman podcast? Because I know we've done it on Quick Hits. We've played her with the gospel singing ventriloquist dummy. What was his name? Little Dicky or some shit?
I don't remember what his fucking name was. All right, here it is. He'll do it again. Obviously not with you. Once would be more than enough.
That is a wig. That is 100% a wig.
That is some Dolly Parton wannabe shit if I've ever seen it.
And that is 100% not Babushka Lady. No.
I wonder if her babushka looks like that. You know, there's like that much hair down there.
Does the babushka match the drapes, Rob? It's whatever.
If she ever wore a bikini, she'd have to put another babushka around her bottom half of the bikini. Just to keep it all.
Man.
Good Lord. Thank you, Preston, for that lovely image, sir.
Tarzan pops out.
Ah! Oh. And
well, we finally did degenerate into a Quick Hits episode. It took 2.5 hours, but there we go.
We got there.
But
yeah, I got another email, but we're going to save this last series of emails for the next members only because it's a good one.
Hey, Southwest, Beverly saying Jesus put a yodel in my heart. Isn't that the one with the ventriloquist dummy? I think it is. Yeah, that's the one we played on Quick Hits.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's delightful. Let's just face it, it's delightful.
Oh, she could put
man, she had that little wooden fucker bouncing underneath. It was awesome.
Oh, and folks, that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
We're done.
That's the show. That's what we call a pod, Doug. That's a pod.
That's a pod.
It's a pod.
Well, damn, dude, I've had as much fun right here as I have once a month doing Quick Hits with you. Absolutely. Yeah, this has been cool.
So here's how we do it over here.
Well, look, let me just say, man, you're getting a need. Holla at me. You know, I'm around.
Will do. And I appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us. And I know the people were thrilled to see you here as well. And I think we give them a good show, great show as usual. Thanks, Doug. That was fun. Yeah, man. People love you, and I love you. Thank you so much for coming on here. Dino, get your fat ass in here, sir.
I missed it.
He dare not talk for the record, but he said, "Come to Bourbon Street and I'll show you."
I gotta add you to this. Oh. Add a speaker. Add Doug.
That is awesome.
There we go. Boom.
The greatest lies are told in the name of truth. The greatest crimes are committed in the name of
Thanks,
justice.
folks. Have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for hanging out with us.
It could be used
And we'll
for
see
him
you
or against him in this strange
next
case.
week.
Good night.
Peace.
Wu-Tang is for the children.
Right. It's called for the children, baby. Dean Andrews is for the children. Sheila Booth is for the children. And David Ferry is definitely for the children.
Oh, man.
And we're out.